Hey, y'alls, it's me again. Wanted to put together a little video for this week's discussion, which is focused on poverty and conflict. Now, unlike other discussions we've had, this one is going to require you to go and find an example slash case study that highlights poverty or conflict and the problems that people face today. And we've had a very wide exploration of these. All right, so go back to our text. All right, find a good case study. Okay, an example from like this week: Nancy Shepherd Hughes exploring poverty in northeastern Brazil. It's a good one. I don't want everyone to use that, okay, since I'm pointing it out here. Excuse me. But that should give you an idea of what I'm looking for. You then, after you pick one, you want to, in your post, your initial post, you want to, briefly summarize it. Aim for a short paragraph, which just outlines the case study. Okay, main points. After that, you want to pick out the ethical issue within it. All right. Now, I'm using another example. Sweatshops. Okay, we can look at sweatshops kind of from two general perspectives. One, that they're oppressive and exploitive. Okay, that they're violating human rights for the benefit of a relatively few in the West. Okay. On the other side, you could look at it as much more from a culturally relativistic perspective of that sweatshops can actually provide opportunities that might not otherwise exist. Now, I'm going to be really clear. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. Okay, this is more about practice of your critical thinking. Okay, and being able to pick things apart. Now, in picking out the ethical issue, you really want to apply our principles of professional responsibility. Okay, our prompt actually highlights two. Right, there are many more. Right, I suggest in the prompt there's a link to the AAA statement on professional responsibility. Check it out. It's important stuff for anthropologists. These are the rules that we have to live by. But one of the primary ones is do no harm. Okay, so when you're thinking about these these cases, these examples that you bring up, looking at how harm is affected is an important thing, and apply your anthropological understanding of that. Right? We have a professional responsibility not to do harm. Okay. So you might even explore, tourism in your final milestone here. That could be a connection that you could easily make. Another key responsibility is you have to be open and honest regarding work. So yeah, you just really want to kind of pick apart the ethical issue, highlight the main points of it, and really apply your cultural relativism here. Okay, you do not want to be like, oh well, this is just clearly wrong, because we deal in subtle shades of gray. All right. In one perspective, it may be clearly an ethical violation, that there may be something just fundamentally inherently wrong, such as a human rights issue. But the same issue looked from a different perspective might see things differently. Okay, and that's one of the things that anthropologists excel at. All right, we can see things from multiple perspectives. All right, and as such, it allows us to understand the ethical issues that are presented in different ways. All right, so that's your initial post. Once you do that, it's due end of Thursday this week. You got two response posts as usual, and in your response post, you really want to, apply your critical thinking here. What's your reaction to the case study that's highlighted? Do you agree with your fellow classmates' perspective on it? And this is the key thing. Why or why not? Take the time to explain it, right? Like, not, yes, you make a good point. I agree. Well, okay. Uh, Pick it apart, right? If there's something that you agree with, highlight what that is, right? And explain why you agree with it, right? I might suggest, hint, hint, wink, wink, our core concepts, right? These key, understandings that we have as anthropologists would be some pretty good things to point out there, right? Apply those things. Yeah, you've been exposed to some theories that we like to use to understand certain things. So you might go back to that module and those resources and be like, oh yeah, well from this other perspective we can see it like blah 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 blah. Um, I'm not trying to be flippant. I'm just trying uh, to help ease your concerns and help you kind of how to approach this discussion. Yeah. So yeah. Actually, I was actually just about to repeat myself and caught myself. So yeah, I'll leave that there, and I look forward to your all's posts and responses. Take care. Bye.